Hello guys and gals, it is I, the Monster, and today we're reviewing Dragon Quest III HD-2D Remake, a remake of the 1988 classic Dragon Quest III that came out in the original Nintendo Entertainment System. This game came out last year, 2024, middle November, and I decided that I was going to review this game when I beat it because I really wanted to review a Dragon Quest game, and this is the first time I've ever played Dragon Quest III. I'm not new to the Dragon Quest franchise. I really like this franchise a lot. But admittedly, I have not played a lot of the mainline titles. I was always more of a fan of the Dragon Quest Monsters series. So, I just want to say this is my first time playing it. These are just my takes, my opinions. And I do want to also say that I'm going to talk about some stuff that I watched online. And I'm not trying to bring anybody down or anything. It's just an opinion that I have. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. Boom, baby. So I just want to say right out the gate, when this game was announced, it was really exciting because a lot of people who grew up in the 80s who played this game, they had a lot of these amazing memories playing Dragon Quest III and the original Dragon Quest games. They said that a lot of them said this was like their first intro to JRPGs and role-playing games. And I get it. It had a huge cultural influence on a lot of people, especially in Japan. They closed schools. You could go look up the whole history of that. And I understand that people were very excited, you know. This game has gotten a couple of re-releases before. You had one on the Game Boy, and then you had like these mobile-like games that came out on the Switch a couple years ago. There's probably another port I'm missing, but this game's been around a while. And I get it. People are really excited. This is getting the real good, beautiful HD 2D sprite treatment. And, you know, the orchestra, like the music, like everything. It just looked incredible, right? But I think what ended up happening was a lot of people that talked about this game didn't talk about a lot of the new stuff that got added to this game, the good and the bad, and they didn't talk about how the second half of this game is like going to basically hell. It's just like going to like hell. It's crazy. This game in a lot of ways, man, really broke me. I actually had to put a tweet out, an X tweet, I don't know what they're calling them anymore, but I put out something saying that this game gave me anxiety because I literally got to a point in this game where I had to play it in little doses because I was getting so stressed out playing it. So we're going to talk about everything. Again, I'm not here to like bash anybody. There was a lot of amazing content creators out there that made awesome stuff and gave you some real honest takes on it. But then there was a whole handful of them where we're like, oh yeah, this is like amazing. Just play the game and oh my god. And it's like, yeah, that's cool and everything. But like, you should probably tell people about this other part that, you know, is a big thing. So this game is beautiful, right? They did an amazing job, like, making it look high definition. It's running great on all the consoles. I have the Switch version here. I can tell you right now it runs great on TV and it ran great on handheld. It looked great. All the towns and cities look great. The sprite work looks great. The day and night cycle, the iconic day and night cycles in this game, and everything looks amazing. It's just a beautiful game. The backgrounds are awesome. There's little effects, little misty effects, and weather effects and all that stuff that was added. That's really nice little touches. All the dungeon areas look great. All the caves look great. Like, this is just across the board an awesome example of just beautiful artwork. Thank God for Akira Toriyama, man. Rest in peace, brother. Your art will live on forever. The music in this game is kind of a mixed bag because it's orchestrated and it's this iconic music that people love, that they grew up with, and it is great, but a lot of it is very old school, somber fantasy music, and it's a lot of the same jingles over and over again. There are some moments in this game where you'll get amazing music that comes out of nowhere and you're like, this is awesome, I didn't hear this before. But for the most part, it's a lot of the same stuff. It would have been nice if they did some new jams. Because this is the same problem I had with Dragon Quest Monsters, The Dark Prince, and Star Ocean, The Second Story R. There's a lot of the same music. Again, I'm not here to say the music's bad. It's iconic. It's amazing music. But it's like, oh my god, like, can we go past 5 songs? Can we do a little more, please? Can we put a little money into the musicians' pockets and like just do something else? So that was something that was kind of bugging me. The story is very straightforward, old school fantasy RPG. You know, you are the son of this legendary warrior Ortega who mysteriously vanished on a quest to defeat bad guys and whatnot, and you go on this quest to figure out what happened to him, but also like defeat the evil of the land. It's all about just exploring and like seeing this high fantasy world and just going on the journey. It's Dragon Quest after all. So it's just a very basic, smooth, very, you know, old school fun story. The gameplay in this game is very straightforward as well. It's an old school style gameplay, you know, RPG. You have your hero character, your main character, and then you have 3 party members that you can design and pick the classes for. There's things like a thief, a mage, a priest, a warrior, those types of classes. And there's even new classes such as the Monster Wrangler. I love the Monster Wrangler because it's a giant homage to the Dragon Quest Monsters franchise, and all of those moves are different. A lot of AoE kind of moves and straightforward moves, but they can also learn moves from monsters, and so it's just a really fun, exciting thing. I also want to mention that the Monster Wrangler is really, really overpowered. If you get this move called Wild Side, it's pretty much a done deal. You get to attack twice, so it's just constant AoE. But it's cool because it's also like a hybrid class, so you can spec it how you want. All the classes you can basically level up, earn new abilities. You can also find seeds in the game that will boost their stats, so it's almost like a talent system-ish kind of. And so it's really exciting to always just keep progressing in this game. And then in the job system, what's really cool is you can take the job and you can swap to another job at level 20, and you can take all that experience, all the stat work you did with the characters, and you can transfer it over and have an even bigger, beefier class, all the spells, all the stuff you learn. I learned the hard way very late in the game that I should have developed more with this system because I was very stubborn and I didn't want to. But eventually I had to turn my priest into a sage. So you'll see some of the images later on that are like my priest is clearly not there anymore. I had to go sage because sage was like the ultimate class and the priest just wasn't cutting it anymore. There's a monster side thing that they introduced to this game. It's like pretty much a auto battler version of Dragon Quest Monsters. And in the game, you will find hidden monsters throughout the lands, and you can unlock them to use them on like a 3-person team for these monster battles, earning you rewards and all kinds of various stuff. It's really fun. I got to maybe rank 4 or 5, and I had a good time with it. But it was a cool idea. If you're a fan of the Monster series, you're gonna love this stuff. But yeah, for the most part, the game is exactly what you think it is. A lot of people say they could beat this game in 30 hours or something. This game took me a little over 60, and I'll explain why. So, when you get to about the 25 to 30 hour mark, this game goes from a very straightforward, dare I say basic high fantasy game to okay, we're going to take it up a notch. We're going to make you think that you beat this game, but you really didn't beat this game. And that's where this game just completely broke me. It was oh my god, I don't know what the hell is going on anymore. It made me rethink how I look at RPGs. It made me rethink how remakes are made, all of this different stuff. Because I'm sitting here as a new person thinking to myself, they're going to add quality of life, they're going to make this game a little easy, and it's no bro, this game is as hardcore as it gets. So in the second half of this game, you have to go for 6 orbs to defeat the big bad evil of the game, the real evil guy. And I've heard little rumblings over the years that this is a very big thing. I don't know how kids in the 80s did this, to be completely honest with you, without a guidebook. It's crazy. Some of the orbs are really easy to get. You'll find one that's under a statue that you just push a thing and you get it at a pirate's den. And then you'll have another one where you have it to go to an undead city, a town, and you'll have to get this orb from somebody that's in a jail. But you got to get a skeleton key that unlocks all the doors. So you got to get the key first to go back to the guy. But what they did in this version of the game is they added a lot of new stuff. So there's a lot of boss battles that will literally just smack the taste out of your mouth. You'll be grinding and grinding thinking you're the shiz, and all of a sudden they'll introduce these boss battles that are literally giant skill checks. And this is the stuff that really made me anxious. So for example, to get the green orb in this game, I was telling you that you got to go to the undead town. And now they added this battle where you have to fight all of these demon things that keep respawning and respawning and respawning. So you got to find a way to stop them without them shutting you down. But then they AoE you and they silence you. This game reminds me a lot of my old World of Warcraft days back in the early 2000s, where gear mattered, stats mattered, and every single thing was out to silence you or AoE you or just beat you down. You thought you were a good player until you entered a certain instance or a certain raid, and that's how this game feels. Stats and gear matter in this game. Resistance matters. Fire, thunder resistance, whatever, lightning resistance. Having high agility, having high things. All of this stuff matters. And it really, by the end of this game, you're going to really learn it the hard way. You fight this guy, Baramos, who is the guy that you are believed to be the final boss of this game. And he there's a whole another grand plot going on. And you end up fighting this dude 4 times. And every single one of his fights is different. But every single fight, for the most part, he will try to find a way to stifle you. be it a silencer lowering your armor or putting you in some weird haze. It is absolutely crazy. There's a fight in this game where you fight like a demon. He stifles you. There's any way that they could silence the player in this game has found a way to do it. It is incredibly frustrating. And I was reading online that a lot of this stuff got changed. Some fights got harder. It is something where I had to literally stop and go with this game every so often. But I was so determined to beat the damn thing. By the end of this game, you're literally going through a boss rush mode to literally get to the final boss after a huge zone. After you go through this huge zone, and even then you got to figure it out. And then they give you a way to kind of cheese some of it, but it still requires a lot out of the player. So I just want to let people know this is a banger game and it's really damn good. But I also want to be real with you and tell you that this last half of the game is going to whoop your ass and has no shame doing so whatsoever. Now, I have to talk about a couple of things really quick before we wrap this up. I want to say that I wish that the sprites were a little bigger and the text was a little bigger. It's a little pulled back, a little hard. Square Enix is notorious for making these games with very small text, but now we have small monsters in this game, and I'm I kind of want them to be a little closer up. I don't know if I'm crazy with this take, but I'm always wondering, are there people on these teams that wear glasses? There has to be. What's going on here with this? I also wanted to say that there is a autosave feature that's very strange. It almost creates a flash save. So when you save the game, you could come back to where you were anywhere in the game, but if you play it and you don't save, it deletes it. So I wish there was a real save. I don't know why they couldn't just do that. I'm pretty certain Star Ocean, Second Story or Remake, had one of these. I just don't understand why they couldn't do it. And I just feel I've said it before, the music in this game is wonderful. I just wish there was a little more variety going on with the music. Other than that, I think this is a phenomenal remake. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the 1 and 2 remakes are like, because I know you have to play the trilogy backwards, which is very interesting to me. And I know this is the start of the whole Erdrick saga. And, that's it. I'm very new to this stuff. I'm really excited. This game really, man, whooped my butt. I mean, I'm not joking, you guys. And I was I have to talk about this game. I got to review it. So please, tell me in the comments below, are you a fan of Dragon Quest? Are you interested in this game? Tell me what you think about this. And please, guys, like, comment, subscribe, share, ring that bell. I'm trying really hard this year to hit 1,000 subs. If you like video games, if you like a guy from Long Island, New York, rambling about video games or any of this type of stuff, please toss your boy a sub. And as always, I always appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Play some games, have a good time, and that's it, go play Dragon Quest, go play some, RPGs, whatever, and peace out, guys. R.I.P. Toriyama. Woo! Dragon Quest 3. It's kind of crazy. I think he drew a slime on a napkin or something, too. Think about that. One of the most iconic characters of all time, drawn on, nothing. Maybe it was a paper plate. Who the hell knows? All right, bye.